A Lexington woman turns herself in, accused of trying to kill and rob a Nicholasville man during an incident that happened back in June.
These railroad tracks actually kept first responders from getting to where they needed to be for a couple of minutes. In the meantime, people nearby helped at a deadly accident. How family is now thanking those passing by.
Thieves are targeting mobile phone accounts. How you can protect your identity.
This is WKYT News at 5:30.
Good evening and thanks for watching WKYT. 3 months ago, a man was beaten and nearly killed by a group of women in Pulaski County.
A Lexington woman has since turned herself in for her role in the crime, and police say they know who the other suspects are. WKYT's Phil Pendleton has the latest on the case from Somerset in our top story at 5:30.
The first suspect in this disturbing story is 19-year-old Kendall Elliott, who will turn 20 years old tomorrow. But she'll be spending her birthday in jail. Police say she is accused of trying to kill a man during a robbery attempt that happened back in June. The investigation goes back to June 13th. Police say 4 Lexington women met a Nicholasville man at this Somerset Dairy Queen because the man had marijuana on his mind. Only police say the women got the man to go with them to a heavily wooded area in the rural eastern part of Pulaski County, some 14 miles away.
Based on his statements, he was assaulted, robbed, and then left out there.
Court records say the man escaped and found refuge with a neighbor. On Tuesday, 19-year-old Kendall Elliott turned herself in.
In district court, it was dismissed and proceeded by indictment, so she knew that there was going to be an indictment coming in regards to her. And I believe her attorneys probably just advised her to come on down and turn herself in.
Police say the victim was beaten with a bottle and a mallet and had a rope put around his neck in attempts to choke him.
You're looking at a lot of superficial wounds. At the time of at the beginning of the investigation, they looked a lot worse than what they actually were.
And the others that police are looking for are a Autumn Coleman, a Shanae Brooks Jackson, and a Dove Garner. All 3 of those are in their 20s, and they are from the Lexington area. In Pulaski County, Phil Pendleton, WKYT.
Police say the victim had a relationship with Elliott but was able to identify all 4.
Police in Lexington believe a man behind an attempted sexual assault near the UK campus that happened last month is possibly connected with other assaults in Lexington. That attempted assault happened in the area of Arlington Avenue and Grosvenor Avenue on Friday, August 26th, but was chased off by some witnesses. The victim described him as a white man in his late 20s to early 40s, about 5'9" to 6 feet tall, with a stocky build, dark hair, and facial hair. We'll have more on this case on WKYT News at 6.
The family of a couple that survived a deadly crash in Anderson County is reaching out to thank first responders. Investigators
say a driver died when his car slammed into an SUV on US 62 near Lawrenceburg on Friday. A couple in the SUV was seriously injured. Caitlin Sentner is in Anderson County with more.
I was like, surely the one car that was upside down, nobody made it out alive.
It was a chaotic scene just beyond city limits.
Just a lot of people on the street.
Surrounding a crash that happened just moments after an Anderson County deputy got a call to a reckless driver on Versailles Road.
I was almost to where he was right before the accident happened.
But pulling up to the crash, Deputy Paul Blackhurst knew this wasn't something he could handle alone.
The injuries were so severe, there wasn't a lot anybody could do that was there.
But he pulled up to strangers helping in just about any way possible.
There was a woman that was there that was comforting the older couple. The individual that was trapped in the car was on fire, and the car was mangled to the point where we couldn't even get him out.
People were directing traffic and grabbing garden hoses. First responders are actually calling those people that helped out with the accident heroes because EMS and firefighters were stuck here for a couple of minutes waiting for a train to go by. First responders got Aaron Caudell to the hospital where he died of his injuries. But family of Ronald and Judy Howard are now thanking the mystery people that held the couple's hands. They sent in a letter to the editor at the local paper.
I think having someone there to comfort them, to tell them that help was on the way, I think that helps tremendously.
As for neighbors, they're reminded by the burn marks in their yard, and they hope drivers start to slow down.
I see it every day, and I think about it every day, and it just, it's scary. My son is 17 years old, and each time he pulls out of this driveway, I'm scared it could happen to him.
In Anderson County, Caitlin Sentner, WKYT.
The Howard couple is still recovering from their injuries.
Investigators are still trying to determine what led to the murder of a disabled veteran. Our county-by-county coverage begins in Hardin County. Radcliffe police say they found 71-year-old Norman Hall dead in his apartment Friday. The 71-year-old had leg and foot problems from diabetes complications and relied on oxygen and dialysis. Detectives are still investigating whether Hall was targeted or if the crime was random.
Did they enter the residence unwanted, surprisingly? Or was it someone that he had there visiting with him that committed this crime after they were welcomed in? Not sure just yet, but those are two of the things we're looking at.
Hall was last seen Wednesday of last week. Police say some of his property was recovered near an apartment dumpster Friday morning. In Metcalfe County, investigators are still trying to determine what caused a massive fire at a well-known nightclub. Scott's City Limits near Edmonton was destroyed by fire last night. It took several fire departments hours to get the fire under control. The club featured popular country western entertainers each week. No word yet on any criminal investigation. The club is owned by Kevin Gentry. He is in jail accused of trying to hire someone to commit murder. And a Mercer County man has died from injuries sustained from a motorcycle accident. The Fayette County coroner says 57-year-old James Cornelius was driving his motorcycle in Mercer County Sunday night when he went off the road and crashed. He was taken to UK Hospital where he died of his injuries today. The Mercer County Sheriff's Department is still investigating that crash.
After another beautiful sunny day, some isolated storms are moving in tonight, bringing along some cooler temperatures overnight. WKYT Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey fills in all the blanks.
Yeah, that cold front that is on the way, Sam, is slowly getting into town. It is so slow that so far it's kept a lot of the scattered thunderstorms just to our north, allowing temperatures to be back into, as expected, the mid and in a few cases upper 80s out there. Live sky cams are dry until we get into far northern Kentucky. There we go with a scattered boomer here or there. Parts of Boone, Kenton, Campbell counties near the Covington, Cincinnati area and to the west of Louisville had some showers and thunderstorms. Getting into sections of the Ohio River counties, a lot of that, though, will begin to dry up as it encounters that warm and dry air that is right on top of central and eastern Kentucky. So that front does not have a big push with it, and especially since it's running up against a tropical system that developed last night off the southeastern seaboard, kind of throwing up the stop sign. If you're out this evening, most areas are dry, teeny tiny shot to our north for a shower or thunderstorm early. Upper 60s will show up by 11 o'clock or so. When I come back here in about 10 minutes from now, we'll focus on the forecast for the weekend, and I'll show you how moisture out of the Gulf of Mexico may finally mean some decent rain chances across much of the area.
Chris, thank you. A Martin County family lost their home in an early morning fire yesterday, and it happened on one of their daughter's birthdays. Robert and Brenda Runyon lived in the home on Big Elk Creek with their 3 daughters. Robert says the smell of smoke woke him up.
The room was just, like smoky, real smoky, and like rubber burning. And then I looked over, and the whole wall was on fire.
Luckily, the 3 girls were at school when the fire started, and no one was injured. Even the family dog made it out okay. The couple says despite losing everything, the worst part was telling their 9-year-old daughter about it on her birthday. They say they don't know how that fire started.
Identity thieves have come up with a new scheme. They're now taking over mobile phone accounts.
My dad, my sister, and my husband, all of their phones stopped working.
And when Lindsay called AT&T to find out why, she discovered a thief had hijacked her family's account.
Somebody in Nebraska had walked into a Best Buy and upgraded all 3 phones that had upgrades available.
3 iPhone 6 Pluses worth about $800 billed to her account, and she's not alone. The FTC's received thousands of similar complaints from across the country, impacting all 4 major carriers. And the growing problem of cell phone hijacking extends far beyond the inconvenience of losing phone service or fighting fraudulent charges. When crooks transfer your number to the new phones, they may gain access to your most critical accounts.
Increasingly, Facebook, Google, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, they're all using your cell phone as a secondary measure to prove who you say you are.
Technology writer Dan Gooden warns that 2-factor verification, a security measure that confirms account passwords via text or app on your phone, assumes a person who steals your password doesn't also have access to your phone. Cell phone account hijackers may have both.
Suddenly your phone stops working and I now have a phone connected to your account. I receive all of your phone calls, I receive all of your texts. For all practical purposes, I am now you.
AT&T says its stores require photo ID and the last 4 digits of your social before allowing an upgrade or access to an account. But Lindsay says they told her someone used a fake ID with her name to upgrade the phones at Best Buy. After switching out their SIM cards, Lindsay's family did get service back, and AT&T covered the fraudulent charges.
I just don't want this to happen to other people.
So one way to protect yourself, set up a password or PIN with your carrier that's required before making any changes to your mobile account.
A biblical attraction in northern Kentucky is bringing in hundreds of thousands of visitors. That story in about 6 minutes here on WKYT.
I'm Bill Bryant. Senator Rand Paul starts TV ads that never mention that he's running for re-election. Hillary Clinton set to return to the campaign trail, while Donald Trump visits a city well known for its water woes. The bottom line is ahead.
The first TV ads for Senator Rand Paul's re-election have hit the airwaves.
And Governor Matt Bevin defending controversial comments he made over the weekend. Bill Bryant has details in the bottom line.
Good evening. Senator Rand Paul, who is running for re-election in November, has started TV ads for the fall campaign. The 30-second spot started airing today. It never mentions that he's a senator. It does not name his opponent, and it never talks about the coming election. It refers to Paul as Dr. Paul and shows the first-term Republican wearing medical and surgical clothing. Part of the spot is a scene from a surgery where a woman has had her eyesight restored.
To be able to see again, I mean, it's too awesome. He's just a wonderful person to do something like this.
Paul's opponent, Lexington Mayor Jim Gray, is also running TV spots in other parts of the state where he is less known. He talks about balancing Lexington's budget and his business experience, and he makes no mention of Paul in his ads. Gray has said that Governor Matt Bevin needs to acknowledge he was wrong to suggest there might be bloodshed if Hillary Clinton is elected president. Yesterday, Democratic congressional candidate Nancy Jo Kemper said the legislature should consider impeaching Bevin. Bevin's comments were made at the annual Values Voter Summit over the weekend in Washington. Bevin quoted Thomas Jefferson saying the roots of the tree of liberty are watered by the blood of patriots and tyrants. The governor says on Facebook that people who are interested should invest 15 minutes of their time and listen to the entirety of his comments. Hillary Clinton is set to return to the campaign trail tomorrow after being sidelined by pneumonia for several days. Surrogates, including President Obama, Vice President Biden, and her husband, former President Bill Clinton, have been filling in. Donald Trump went up to Flint, Michigan today, which is dealing with that water contamination crisis. Flint's Democratic mayor was critical, saying the city is focused on solutions and not on photo ops. State Representative James Kay of Versailles has pre-filed a bill he says would insulate Kentucky retirement systems from politics and make it more accountable. He says it would not allow a governor to reorganize the board and would make investments more transparent. Bill Bryant, WKYT.
The company behind the Ark Encounter in Grant County says hundreds of thousands of people have visited since opening this summer. Answers in Genesis say that more than 300,000 guests have come to see the life-size replica of Noah's Ark since it opened in early July. The Creation Museum, which Answers in Genesis also runs, has seen a 75% boost in attendance as well. They expect more than 1 million people will visit the Ark Encounter within the first year.
Now, your hour-by-hour forecast with Chief Meteorologist Chris Bailey.
Hey, we've got thermometers right now running about on par with this same point yesterday as summer, our endless summer, rolls on into the eastern part of the country. Look at where we are now compared to the same point yesterday, within a degree or two into most areas with a lot of mid and upper 80s. But you know what? It's a dry heat that is out there because we don't have a whole lot of humidity, and that is also helping to kind of smash those thunderstorms cruising toward the Bluegrass State right now. A little bit of action here in the northern Kentucky, around the Louisville area, southern Indiana. So scattered thunderstorms are trying to get in here, but that cold front responsible for the showers and storms is so stinking slow that it's going to get in here this evening and we lose the heating of the day. So a lot of those showers and storms will be on the wind down by the time they blow into central and eastern Kentucky. When can we get a little rain around here? What an incredible past 3 or 4 months. Think about this. It wouldn't stop raining all summer. Then you got to the end of August and toward Labor Day, and it won't rain now across central and eastern Kentucky. Falls are typically kind of dry around here, but over the course of the weekend, I do see rain chances going back up. Best chance will be Saturday and into Sunday. We may carry that into Monday, too. High school football fans, Friday evening, we'll see about a thunderstorm or two trying to get into town. Forecast for tomorrow, still on the warm side, mainly dry. Shocker. We go into Friday, mainly dry until the late afternoon and evening when a storm or two tries to arrive from the west. Saturday, showers and storms will increase, and there's more humidity into the air on Saturday. That will help our chances of getting in on some rain. Here's the new hour by hour through the evening and right on into first thing tomorrow morning. Fog in the morning can be very thick. We may get some visibilities down under a half mile at times, especially near those waterways. We go through the rest of your day. Mid and upper 70s at noontime tomorrow afternoon. Looking pretty good. Mainly sunny skies most areas. Low 80s in the north, mid and upper 80s across the south with that front kind of putting the brakes on. We go into Thursday night and Friday morning. Temperatures will be into the 60s to start things out. You'll notice a little more humidity in the mix on Friday, and by the end of the day, high school football fans, there you go, some green showing up. That could be a scattered shower or thunderstorm. Better chances as that front gets in here, slows down on Saturday, and the flow comes right out of the Gulf during that time, leading to scattered showers and storms, not only for Saturday, but into Sunday, and a few of those will carry us into Monday, too, with temperatures from the upper 70s to the low 80s, which isn't too far from normal for this time of year. Problem with that, it's only going to be for a day or two. Middle of next week, we could be back into the middle 80s.
Going back to summer.
Yeah, summer. I don't think it ever left.
This weekend.
Problem, right?
Yeah.
We can't get fall around here so far this September.
It's just hanging around.
Thanks, Chris.
You bet.
Police are working a crash on Regency. It's between Moore Drive and Dennis Drive. That is a non-injury collision. The one on Nicholasville Road has been cleared. Traffic still slow from Southland Drive, though, to get past the circle, bumper to bumper in that area right now. It looks like our drive times, we're holding our own so far to Nicholasville, still less than 15 minutes to get there. Also to Versailles, it's a straight shot about 11 to 12 minutes. Now back to you in the studio.
Officer Don, thank you. Brian's up next. The Bengals and Steelers in an early season matchup this weekend.
Yeah, Cincinnati just 3-10 in the last 13 matchups, and these two certainly no strangers to one another. Yesterday we heard what Mark Stoops had to say about Landon Young. What does Eddie Gran and Landon think about his UK debut? Sports is next. True freshman tackle Landon Young saw his first college football action at Florida, and it's a moment he will never forget. Young came into the game at the Swamp after starter Cole Mosier left with an injury. Head coach of the offense, Eddie Gran, said he was pleased with Young's play, and he hopes he will provide depth in the O-line rotation.
Coming in and being in that situation, I thought he did a fine job. I really did. I thought he competed. He didn't look like he had deer in the headlights. You know, he embraced it, and he made some mistakes. But that's what's going to happen. But he's going to be better for us game 9, 10, 11, and 12 because of it.
That was a real eye-opener for me because I was like, I didn't even come in the spring. You know, I came in after my semester, so I've been here since I moved in June. So June, July, August, September, you know, like 4 months here, and I'm already playing on the big stage in college football, and it's just crazy to look back and think, man, I'm really here.
Yes, you are. You are a large individual. You can see the Cats of the Aggies this Saturday at 4, the Aggies of New Mexico State, on the SEC Network alternate channel here in Lexington. That's channel 518 on your Time Warner cable. Well, here we go for you Bengals and Steelers fans. One of the most heated rivalries gets going this weekend. It's the first meeting, obviously, since that bizarre ending in last season's playoffs. The Bengals escaped the Jets last weekend thanks to a huge effort from A.J. Green, while the Steelers dispatched the Redskins rather easily. Marvin Lewis, in his typically stoic fashion, addressed the Steelers personnel.
We look at them, we know the challenges are there. They're good players. You know, their quarterback, Antonio Brown, the receiver, the receiving core, D'Angelo will be in there. He's a good runner. We got a new look at tight end. And then the defensive guys, come back with a lot of the same guys in the front seven. Secondary will be a little bit adjusted.
Recently, John Wall's name was circulating in the NBA trade rumor mill. Wizards brass said that isn't going to happen. What is happening is Wall's return from knee surgery. Wall is taking part in one-on-one drills, but is not ready for 5-on-5 work just yet. Wall may be limited in camp, which starts later this month, but he is expected to be ready for the start of the regular season. The 26-year-old former Wildcat star averaged a career-high 19.9 points, 10.2 assists per game last season. And coming up at the 6 o'clock hour, the UK basketball Wildcats have some brand new digs. We'll show them to you a little bit later. We'll be right back.